our bodies, because it's unknown, our defense mechanisms kick in. Because it's unknown, because it's strange, which gives us that bit of fear, that bit of anxiety. Hello everybody. On today's episode, I want to talk about feeling good. This is something that we all strive for, whatever that means to you, but a lot of times we deny ourselves that. So if you're somebody that is feeling that you don't feel good very often and you want to feel good more often and feel positive feelings more often, I'd encourage you to listen into the rest of this episode because I hope to bring you some powerful insight. Before I dive into that topic though, I wanted to quickly share a thought with you. I had a friend ask me recently, why do I do the podcast? And I had a good why before, but to be honest, I wanted to refine that. And it got me thinking, has it changed a little bit? And in a small way it has, but with the same heart. And so it got me thinking that my why, my purpose here on earth is to pull the best out of people, is to see those amazing gifts and the person that they can become, and to draw that out as best as I possibly can through conversation, through coaching, through tips, through just listening sometimes. And so the thing that I find stops most people from becoming the better version of themselves or having the life that they really want is fear, is anxiety, is pain, is struggles, is these emotions, sometimes the fear of feeling good, the fear of joy because it's unknown, it's foreign. Sometimes these feelings can get in the way and they're unfit to deal with it, to manage and move through these. And I say this because I've been there. I've not struggled with those in a big way. And so that's my purpose with this, is to be a guide, to be a map, to even just be a little voice that you might listen to and hear and remember during those tough times when you're going through those challenging moments, and to just be that bit of wisdom or that thing that sparks you to do something better and greater and different. So that's my why. That's why I'm here today. So why do we not allow ourselves to feel good? It's a really interesting topic because when you think about it, we all really want to feel good. We all want to feel joy. We all want to feel happiness. We all want to feel peace. We want to feel love. We want to feel achievement, gratitude, all these different things. But what I've noticed during my life and during my career and just conversations with people is that as these things come up, not everybody, but a lot of us, when those things come up, we deny ourselves the opportunity to feel them. A really great example is giving compliments. How many times have you given somebody a compliment, or rather, somebody's given you a compliment, and the first thing you do is you play ping pong with it and you hit it right back up? So it could look something like, hey, I love your art, you're such an amazing artist. Oh, no, you know what, you're just being kind, and you know, it wasn't that great. I know that's just a really random example, but I'm sure you can think of a few. One I've noticed many times in going to different friends' houses when they're doing work in their yard or on their house will be in wow of the changes they've made and the work they've done, and wow, look at all this amazing work you've done, and you're having that conversation, and then the first thing they do is take you to the one tiny little flaw that happened to be in the corner that no one ever saw, and you don't see it until they point it out. So it's a little, I know it seems weird and trivial, but it's a weird, true example of us not allowing ourselves to feel good. And I say this because I was really great at batting the compliments away. And it was funny because deep down I wanted people to see me. I wanted people to compliment me. But as soon as it came, I would deny myself the feeling because it was foreign, because it was new. So a little story on that. I had a friend, Rita, she was actually on the podcast, and a while back she brought it to my attention, and she was thanking me for something I was helping her with. And this is a face-to-face conversation. During that conversation, she came, you know what, I really wanted to thank you. You really helped change how I was doing something. And the first thing I said was, oh, you don't know, worries, you know, you had to make those changes and you're the one that did it. And you know, you're a great trainer. And right away, I started deflecting. I started playing ping pong or tennis, whatever you want to call, whatever analogy you want to use. I started playing tennis with the compliment. And she stopped me because the past me would have just played ping pong with the person until we pass the compliments back and forth or deflect them back and forth until we finally stop because it gets awkward. But she stopped me and said, Nathaniel, why are you rejecting my compliment? Why are you not accepting this? And it was really awkward because she was being honest and open-hearted, and I had a really hard time answering the question. And so she gave me a great piece of advice. She said, just sit with it for 10 seconds. That's it. I know it might seem weird and awkward, but just sit with it for 10 seconds and allow yourself to feel that for 10 seconds. And so that's exactly what I did. And truly, it can be life-changing because isn't that what we want? We want people, we all want to be heard. It's one of the most basic human needs is be heard and understood. We want to be seen, but as soon as somebody sees us, we reject it. Why? So to answer the question of why, because I'm sure some of you are thinking that, heck, I was thinking that going into this. A lot of times it's because when we are stepping into uncharted territory, when we are venturing from the norm, and if the norm is to not accept compliments, the norm is to feel bad or angry or upset or frustrated, or maybe just not even, the norm isn't to even feel good or happy. Maybe it's just not negative, more neutral. If it's unknown, our bodies, because it's unknown, our defense mechanisms kick in. Because it's unknown, because it's strange, which gives us that bit of fear, that bit of anxiety. And that goes back to our caveman brain, limbic system kicking in, telling us this is unknown territory, because that's what its job was when we were cavemen, to help us stay alive. Uncharted territory was bad and we stayed away. And we do that the same thing emotionally. When we receive those compliments, we seem to hit them back. Another good analogy is looking at achievements. How many times have you heard somebody that received an achievement award of some sort, and the first thing they do is they thank everybody else? And now I understand the sentiment. I'm not saying don't be thankful for those people, because absolutely it takes a village, it takes a group of people to do anything great, 100%. But most of the time, or a lot of the times, they don't allow themselves any of that appreciation for themselves, or any of that achievement, that feel good for themselves. And it's okay to do that. I watched a wonderful interview, I'm sure some of you guys have seen the one, with Snoop Dogg when he was inducted to the Walk of Fame in Hollywood. And his interview was amazing. And it sparked something in me that I really liked, because when he did his thank you speech, he literally thanked himself over and over again. He said, I'd like to thank me for doing all the hard work. I'd like to thank me for putting in the long hours. I'd like to thank me for all these different things he did. And his response, and everybody received it really well, because I think they recognized that, yes, he had a team, but it ultimately is you that is doing it. And so when you do something great, do something cool, do something that's noteworthy, allow yourself to feel it. Allow yourself to feel good. And I say this because I've struggled with it. But what a difference it's made in my life, allowing people to just compliment me when the compliment does come. Allowing for myself to feel good when I've done something that was really difficult. To be honest, when you do that, and you allow yourself to feel good, Dr. Andrew Huberman talks about this. When you allow yourself to sit and feel good in that achievement, you get a rush of dopamine, which then turns into adrenaline, which then makes you want to go for the next thing. And so actually sitting and feeling those feelings can help you accomplish more, versus self-denying and pushing yourself away from feeling good. The same can be said for taking a day to rest, which some of you might not struggle with, but I know I do. And allowing yourself to just rest, because we're not here to just do. We're human beings, not human doings, right? We're not just here to do all the time. We're here to just be. Sometimes it's okay. And I'm saying this as a reminder to myself. So how do we fix it? I think the first step is looking at yourself and realizing that you are worth it. Recognizing that no matter what you've done in your past, and maybe you're like me who thought you did some horrible things or just felt really bad about yourself, that no matter what, even if you've done those things, you're still worthy of feeling good. You're still worthy of somebody saying that you look great today, or that the work you do inspires them, or that the work you're doing in the gym is paying off and people notice it. You're worth sitting in that for a moment. One thing I do is, with some people, I'll ask them just write a list of things that they love about themselves. Sometimes that can help. And so the next thing I would suggest to fixing that is when the compliment does come. So once you've done the software, what's the next thing you can do? And when the moment comes, you can sit in it. Sit in that compliment for 10 seconds. If you really struggle. Sometimes you can sit in it more, I get it. Or if you can, that's great, but just 10 seconds. So if somebody said, hey, you did a wonderful job on that assignment, or you're doing a great job at work, just sit with it for 10 seconds and feel what it feels like to just have somebody appreciate your work or what you're doing or who you are or something you did. To take it one step further, I would say even use interoception. So interoception is the body, your awareness of your inner self, how you feel inside. So being able to feel your heartbeat while you're talking and standing is interoception, so feeling that. So when somebody says, hey, you look beautiful today, instead of denying it and deflecting it, sit for 10 seconds and feel what it feels like. Does it make your stomach feel good? Do your shoulders feel lighter? Do you feel a sense of warmth in your hands? Wherever you feel it, just feel it for 10 seconds. And if you can, even better is try to label that feeling. Because when you label the feeling, and not just feel good, feel bad, or feel light, but as best as you can describe it, it actually allows you to narrow in and be able to feel it more. The third thing with how to change this is understanding that to deflect a compliment actually stops the cycle. It defeats spreading joy. It defeats spreading happiness because it takes two people to give. One to give the compliment or the gift or whatever it is, and the other to receive it. And so if person one gives person two a compliment and this person never actually receives it, this person ends up feeling not as good. And do you think they're going to want to continue to do that? So sometimes you just, even if you really struggle with it, maybe even just do it for the other person so they can feel good. And notice how good they feel, and then allow yourself to feel that as well. And so that's part of the circle of giving, is one person gives, the other person receives, and that person feels good, so they're going to want to give. And it continues. The last trick there I'll give you is if you really are struggling with feeling good or accepting compliments, achievements, or rest days, is what would you say to your best friend? If it was your best friend that complimented you, would you want them to hit the compliment back at you, or reject it, or deflect the compliment, or never take a rest day, or never to just enjoy feeling good, feeling happy, feeling gratitude, feeling joy, feeling love? The answer is no. You'd want them to feel that. So there are a few things there to help you when that time comes, that uncharted territory. Maybe it's uncharted for you, and maybe not in all aspects of life, but sometimes it can be even just a new aspect, a new venture, a new partner, a new relationship. If you're getting that feeling of uncertainty and stress or just anxiety when somebody's trying to compliment you, breathe. Take a second. Use the 10-second rule and just breathe and try to just allow that to happen, and understand and remember the circle of giving that you must receive in order for that person to give, and that continues the circle of it and being allowed to spread goodness in this world. So I'll leave you with one quote, which I really loved. And maybe it applies here, maybe it doesn't. Some of you might understand, might apply. But you've already achieved the goals that you said would make you happy. I'll say it one more time. You've already achieved the goals that you said would make you happy. So be okay with right now, and even be happy with where you're at right now, even if it's big or small. Because when you become happy with where you're at right now, that releases dopamine, as we noted before, which then turns into adrenaline, which allows you to push yourself a little bit further and go past where you are right now. So, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't yet, I would encourage you to check out Lifepurposefully.ca, because I've released the emotional fitness course, which I'm super excited about. It's going really well. We're having some great responses from this. It is essentially a 6-week program, a video series that you can go through at your own pace on your own days. We correspond weekly through email, and I help pull the best out of you, like I talked about at the beginning of this episode, to bring out the best of you that you want in your life, and to help be a tugboat to pull you in the direction that you want to go. And instead of it costing thousands of dollars to do one-on-one coaching, it's going to be a fraction of that. We're actually looking at $300 to do this. So if you're interested, please reach out, because I'd love to have you there. And thanks again for listening, and I'll catch you on the next episode. Bye for now.